What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone is having a fantastic night. Brandon, how you doing tonight?
I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome. I just couldn't wait for this show.
Listen, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Andrew Ivins. Welcome to the Scoop and Brandon show. It really is an honor to have you on. I mean, you have a prolific name in, with 24/7 sports covering the state of Florida. So we greatly appreciate your time.
Well, I thought you were introing Brandon.
No. He just asked me how I was doing, but he's talking about the man, the myth, the legend. He's talking about you.
I mean, I don't have a Wikipedia page, so I'm not on that.
Not yet. You might have it after this. You know what I mean? Hey, somebody get the man a Wikipedia page. What's up, man? How your day going?
It's going good, man. Going good. We got right through signing day, and it just doesn't stop. So trying to work in my backyard this weekend before I probably do camps or 7-on-7 tournaments for the foreseeable future. And so we get into spring football, and then it's nonstop. So,
all right, let's go ahead and jump right into it because I've been wondering. First, before you do that, since you said 7-on-7, I want to know how much do 7-on-7 in these camps go into a player's rankings?
I mean, everything's an evaluation. I mean, I think 7-on-7 is just a piece of the pie, a piece of the puzzle. I mean, there is no magic formula. But I think 7-on-7 is certainly valuable when we're trying to stack these kids and rank them. I mean, yes, it's two-hand touch football, but you can learn a lot. And if it wasn't valuable, you wouldn't see these colleges hosting 7-on-7 tournaments in the summer in June. They get 10 camp days where they can have kids on campus, and a lot of times these schools, one or two of those days, they are hosting 7-on-7 tournaments for high schools because that allows their staff to sit back and watch and evaluate. I think with 7-on-7, it just provides that opportunity to see how guys move. Is the kid a competitor, or does he kind of back down? Does he go both ways? Does he crumble under pressure? I think it answers a lot of questions, but that's not the sole thing that goes into the rankings process. I mean, it's everything. It's a kid's background, where the kid came from, their production, their film, what they do on Friday nights, how old they are, what they've done statistically, what type of competition they're playing, what do they project to. I mean, our rankings at 24/7 Sports ultimately are projections towards the NFL draft. So we've studied the NFL draft, and we'll dive into this upcoming 2022 draft. I mean, I'm going through Senior Bowl guys. How did this guy slip through the cracks and get there? And that's ultimately what it's doing. So it's not just one thing. But it's certainly valuable, I think, 7-on-7 in this industry and in this process.
Right. But see, my problem with 7-on-7 is like I was a contact guy. You know what I mean? I was a real physical contact guy. So like when we do 7-on-7, like we call them, you know what I mean, the no pass guy. You know what I mean? So when I think of 7-on-7, I'm like. Because I done seen some people who look amazing in 7-on-7. I'm like, man, we got a player, man. I'm telling you. And then soon as we get a little contact, man, that player, he turned from sugar to shoo-shoo. You know what I'm saying? So how do you balance that? You know what I mean? How can you tell if somebody just a good 7-on-7 player or he's a real legit player?
Well, I think when you go out to these 7-on-7 tournaments, I mean, oftentimes you are trying to verify what you have seen or what you think on Friday nights, or more importantly on what film is available. You got the huddle highlights. Fortunately, there's NFHS, which is a streaming service that streams games where you can go back and watch them. So you try to get as much of that as you can. I understand what you're saying. I think a perfect example of all this is Kamari Wilson, a kid from the Treasure, or where is he? Port St. Lucie. He played 7-on-7 for the Treasure Coast Elite. He's a smash mouth battering ram type of safety, kind of like yourself. So
what's his name again? I gotta watch him. What's his name?
Kamari Wilson. So when you see him in those settings, he's more of a box safety, maybe a little bit of an overhang type of guy, and then you kind of apply that. I mean, I don't think we're going to come out of there and go, well, hey, this guy's game is stuffing gaps and chasing guys down in the alley and knock them on points. But let's say we thought this guy was, someone that should be closer to the line of scrimmage, and he goes out there and he does cover a faster slot receiver. I think that's something valuable. Again, like we're not going to go out there and base a ranking solely on a weekend of 7-on-7, because I think that's the other thing. I mean, kids are going to have off weekends. Guys have off weekends in the NFL. So you're just trying to get as much information and gather as much information as you can on these individuals. And I tell people this all the time, that, people knock 7-on-7. I am one person with two eyeballs, right? I can only see so much. I can only retain so much. So that's why I try to go to as many tournaments as I can. And that's why I'm trying to watch as much as I can, because you can only take so much in. And that's, so I could go to a camp and then a week later be like, damn it, that kid was at the camp. I had no idea. Like, I just did that today with a kid. So that's why I think they're super valuable. I mean, because on Friday night, I can only be in one place. At a tournament, I can see 300 kids in a day.
So a camp can't hurt you though.
I mean, I think it could. I mean, if you go out there and you suck, or if you go out there and you're overweight and you were to post bad testing numbers or something like that, yeah, it could definitely dock you. But again, I don't think it's the end all be all, because it's a full process. Most of these kids now, we're tracking them from when they are freshmen in high school. We hear through the grapevine, through the college coaches, hey, this guy's going to be good. By sophomore year, they have offers. By junior year, they don't even want to pick up the phone for us because they're big time. And then we see them as seniors. So, I mean, it's a full spectrum. I mean, there's very rare that we're just going to learn about a kid and try to make a decision on the ranking, at least on the higher end kids. Sure. Yeah. Some kids that are going to the FCS level or something like that. I mean, we're not going to have as good of evaluation just because, we really don't have the manpower. So, one solo camp isn't going to sink someone, I was listening to a Twitter space for director of player personnel all around the country, and they were kind of talking things that, if you're a kid, you should get height weighted and run wherever you can, because it's just going to hurt you even more if you scratch numbers. So I thought that was kind of an interesting take to hear it from those guys, and that side of things, the other side of scouting.
So go. You got something to say, Paul?
No, I was just going to add, I think Andrew, he makes a lot of great valid points. I wanted to pick Andrew's brain because this is kind of where the basis, the genesis of bringing Andrew on the show. And I'm curious if you can walk me through this process, because look, any rating system, anything reviewing, nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be accurate by any means. How are star ratings formed with recruits? Because you mentioned it, you get a lot of football players come in. Sometimes you get hints from, high school coaches like, hey, this guy's going to be really good. You see their film. How is a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star? Where's the beginning process? Maybe you see film, maybe you see them at a camp 7-on-7. You take notes of some traits that they have. But what formulates a 3-star, 4-star, 5-star? It's a very broad question, but maybe you can just walk us through the beginning process towards maybe, the process to formulating that star rating.
Well, I think a good example, right, would be the class of 2024, right? So those are the guys that just finished their sophomore years. Every year we're asked to rank right before those kids' sophomore year's initial 100. It absolutely sucks. Okay. It is the hardest thing to do. But how does that process start? The past few years, I've gone to the FBU Freshman All-American Bowl, right? So that gives me, hey, at least I've seen 100 guys. Most of these kids don't even play. They're not even, don't even have varsity reps. I mean, there's kids we've ranked in there that don't even have varsity reps. But what we're looking for is that word you said would be traits, right? So traits. We're digging through track times. We're digging through, hey, is this guy related to someone that's played on Sundays? Because I think one of the biggest things that people don't understand is if you went to the past 2 NFL drafts and those first 3 rounds, so day 1 and day 2, 1 in 8 picks had a sibling, a relative, or something like that played on Sundays. Okay, I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but if there's prospect A and there's prospect B, and prospect A's dad played in the NFL, statistically it says that guy has a better chance of making it. Or that's a data point we can use. Again, that's not the end all be all, but if we got a kid that's a freshman on varsity, then we peg them. And when we rank that initial 100, and again, it's track times, production, what we know, is there any testing data available? What is the film like? What are we hearing? We also consult with the college side, some of these guys they've had in camp and everything like that. So we're trying to gather as much data as we can. And when we start with that initial 100, I mean, if it was up to us, it would be a bunch of 3 stars, because we'd rather move a kid up in the rankings than move a kid down, right? But that's your starting point, right? And then as we learn more guys, there's a rankings council at 24/7 Sports. It's a bunch of different guys in different parts of the country, guys that have been on the college scouting side, guys that have played and whatnot. And we try to bounce names off each other. We work off of spreadsheets. And that's kind of where that's the baseline. And then as we learn about a kid, I'll go to a camp, or I see a kid, or, we see something like that. Sometimes a kid picks up an offer. Hey, we've never heard of this kid. Now we're going to watch him. Now he goes on a list. Right. So that's part of it. That's kind of how it starts out. And then we just try to get guys to rise to the top. Again, like I said, we really want to lean on traits, because oftentimes traits are a good indicator of what a prospect's going to be. So we are studying that NFL data. Another example, I think it was like, I don't know, like there wasn't a corner there was 2 corners drafted last year under 6 foot when they were in high school, or maybe it was under 5'11", all right? And one of those guys, dad played on Sundays. So we're always looking at that. We're looking at the trends, what's going on at the NFL game right now. Because at the end of the day, that's what our rankings are judged at, right? Everyone's going to love to sit on the Super Bowl and be like, hey, Cooper Kupp, man, he was a 2-star, so they got that one wrong. But they're not going to talk about all the 5 and 4 stars on there. So that's why that's the star system the way it is. 5-star, we're saying you're a first-round draft pick. 4-star, you're an NFL player. High 3-star, you're good, really good potential impact college player. And then it kind of filters out through that. So
if you got a 5-star and he play against somebody and that person kills him, does his stock drop, or does you just say, oh, he had a bad game?
Again, well, we're also projecting upside, right? I mean, everyone loves to line a kid up and be like, well, hey, this was the kid's worst game. Maybe we're thinking about projecting them long term. Jason Onway or Oweiwe from Penn State last draft. Then he go in the first, 60 picks and he didn't have 1 sack. I mean, kids are always going to be getting better. I think most of those guys in that top 32, their best football would be ahead of them. It's just like the NFL draft, right? Joe Burrow has a bad game, but you're thinking, hey, 2 to 3 years down the line, he's going to be better. So I don't think, I guess a 5-star could have a bad night, but I think it's kind of a little bit of a ridiculous argument when someone said, hey, well, I saw this kid play and he sucked. Again, because it's a kill, it's everything. We're trying to project forward and we're taking everything we know. Could that certainly, alter a ranking? Could we show up to an all-star event and we see a kid and we're like, hey, we have this kid as a 5. We don't feel good about this. Then we could certainly move him down. But at 24/7 Sports, I think people are confused. There's a 24/7 Sports composite, which is a combo of ESPN, Rivals, Scout, and 247. That's a combination of everyone's rankings, and we have the 24/7 Sports ranking. For the 24/7 Sports ranking, usually most of the time, like over 90% of the time, we award a kid a 5th star. He keeps that star throughout the process. So we're very selective. I think after the early signing period, there's only 14 of those that were handed out, and then when we got to right before National Signing Day, we got up to 32, and 32 is to reflect 32 NFL first-round draft picks with the 32 franchises.
So do the school a kid picks determine if his stars stay at 5 or drop?
No, because I would love for a 5-star to go to Wake Forest and to be drafted in the first round, because that means we would have nailed everything on there. Everyone thinks that we just bump kids for Alabama or any kid going to Alabama, they get bumped. We don't hear those voices, as my colleague Josh Pate says, come that NFL draft, because Alabama has more 5-stars drafted than anyone else. I think it's over 50%. Alabama gets the good players, so it's not surprising that we rank them high, and it's not surprising that they get drafted. But no, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, we have a few guys that have been spent the past 2 weeks going through group of 5 commit lists, going through lower end Power 5 programs, and looking for kids that we can move up in the rankings because we think, hey, this kid can make the NFL. So no, it has no chance. I personally would love to rank a kid high and for that kid to damn stay there. A clear-cut example, Caleb Webb, wide receiver out of Georgia, saw him early on in the season. As a junior, he caught 19 passes. He was committed to East Carolina. Saw him in a kickoff classic. He was the best player on the field, right? We move him up in the rankings. I'm like, please stay locked in with ECU. Everyone else finds out about him. We have him as a top 247 recruit. He ends up signing with Tennessee. So, there's nothing we can do about it. It doesn't really matter. I'd personally love to get as many group of 5 guys in there as we could.
So how is it that I done seen a couple guys that were 5 stars and then they signed to Miami and they end up 4? Like, where that come in at?
Let me get an example. Let's work through this narrative.
I'm listening.
I would need an example. Cyrus Moss, right? Cyrus Moss, 24/7 Sports Composite. I think he was a 24/7 Sports Composite 5-star. I can't speak to why the other services moved him down. I don't know. That's part of a formula. I would have to ask Rivals. I would have to ask Scout, ESPN, why they moved him down. He was never a 5-star on 24/7 Sports. His composite score went down. I don't think his actual grade moved down with us. But at the end of the day, man, he was 212 pounds when he showed up for some of his official visits, right? So I think there's some questions about his frame. Obviously, I'm a big fan of him. I've seen him. I like him, but I'm just that's the counter argument to him. So I can't speak to why those other guys moved him down. He was pretty status quo, I think, in our final go around in the rankings.
Do college coaches have anything to do with the rankings of high school players?
No, I think we.
Like for instance, like we had Al Golden. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Does you saying, you know what, this player ceiling is here, but his coaching gonna be here. So man, we might as well don't even give him if he go there. We might as well don't even give him that because he ain't gonna get coached right. The equal out to the stars you gave him.
We don't. I ever kind of really rank kids like that. I think I always find myself saying, well, hey, I love that this kid is going there because I know this program does this, but that's not going to alter a kid's ranking. I think that would be a dangerous kind of practice right now in this era of the transfer portal. I think you have to assume that probably, 50% of kids are going to end up at another school. So, it's hard to say, yeah, he could be going to play for Al Golden, but the next year he could be playing for Nick Saban or someone like that. So I don't think we'd ever really try to rank like that.
Andrew, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead. I would just say that's a good point.
I wanted to pick your brain. I know we only have a short time with you on tonight's show. How's the impact been? With recruiting, the new coaching staff at Miami. You interview these high school football players a lot. Do you see more energy when you ask them, how's the relationship been with the Miami Hurricanes football coaching staff? It seems like it's a breath of fresh air. There's a lot of energy and people gravitating towards the Mario Cristobal hire.
Yeah, and we've kind of seen this with Manny shot some energy in there, and the more I kind of look back on it, I think maybe that wasn't even really who Manny is. Like it was just a faked act, and it eventually just kind of faded out. I think with Mario, man, it's all real. I was on campus a few weeks ago, and it was my first time kind of ever seeing Mario interact with some high profile recruits. And I'm like, is this fake? And then after about 5 minutes, I'm like, no, this is him. I've heard stories about how he's consistently texting recruits at all hours of the day, not just like texting, like full on conversation. So pretty much, most of the high profile guys I've talked with and asked them what they think of. And I always catch myself from saying the new Miami, because remember we said that about when Manny came, the new Miami. I just, hey, what do you think of this, of Mario? And they all seem to think that there's change and there's the right change. And I think the staff that he has assembled is pretty damn impressive. Adai, the defensive backs coach, I was actually I was in the same place tonight as Marvin Jones Jr., the 5-star defensive end out of American Heritage. And I kind of asked him, I said, hey, how big of a role did Adai have in your recruitment? He's like, that's the guy I pretty much talked to the whole time. So I think he's going to do really well. Frank Ponce is a guy that is tied and plugged into the 305. Like, I think he's going to help them there with some of these skill guys. Mirabal can't knock his his record. And I like Josh Gaddis.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do well. I've seen some Michigan writers take some shots at him now that he's moved on. And then I think Kevin Steele, I would not expect him to recruit. They're gonna surround him with some big time recruiters. So I think the staff he assembled is pretty dang impressive in terms of just what he's got in some of those recruiters. But it definitely does, to answer your question, seem like there's some new momentum, some new energy. And I don't want to say kids are buying in, because we haven't really seen anyone commit or anything like that. But I do think they're feeling Miami.
My last question for Andrew, and then I'll toss it over to Brandon. Is this the most elite wide receiver class you've seen in the South Florida area?
Yeah.
Since you've been covering recruiting?
Yeah, and I think it's not even down here in South Florida. I think it extends all the way up into Jacksonville through Tallahassee. I mean, I'm hoping to get a story on this, just kind of just naming some of the, I mean, it seems like every weekend we kind of learn about a new guy. So it'll be interesting to see how Miami uses their spots. I know there are other schools, other big time programs. I actually got a text tonight from a guy in a recruiting department at a college football playoff contender. And he says, hey, well, Miami can't take all these kids. So I keep telling my guys that we need to, try to figure out who they're going to get. But definitely tons of wide receivers. And then on the flip side, what's crazy, I don't know if it's crazy. I mean, this is just the ebbs and flows. Like, I think it's a really down year for defensive linemen in South Florida. We went from such a jam-packed year with multiple blue chip guys in this Broward, Miami-Dade area to this year. It's really dry aside from Ruben Bain, who obviously has ties to Miami. So it's interesting how it works. But man, yeah, like there's so many receivers to like, and I think there's guys that are just like we don't know about them, and we'll turn around 3-4 years from now and he'll be somewhere else and he'll be a potential NFL guy. It's just crazy how loaded it is.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It's a very talented year at the wide receiver position.
So I'm getting a text right now, and a lot of people asking me, like, how do they get their kid noticed? Like, what do they do? Like, cause Apopka, we go to state a lot. You know what I mean? We don't necessarily win it all the time, but we go to state a lot. But we still never have the 5-star, 4-star. We end up having like one out of the whole team, which honestly I agree with most of the time. But how do they get their kids on your radar?
Well, I mean, I get people that'll come up to me that say I messaged you, and it's like, man, I get 50 messages a day of people watching me wanting them to watch their film. And I think it's the same thing on the college thing. And I just to reference kind of that podcast or that space I was in earlier with guys on the recruiting side. I think going to things and shaking hands and making a face-to-face meeting can go longer, a super long way. I always tell people this, take your kids to camps, but make sure it's the right camps, right? You shouldn't be paying for some recruiting service to get recruited or anything like that. I think having a presence on social media goes a far way. And I want to make it clear, like, just because I haven't responded doesn't mean I have something against the kid or anything like that. I mean, there was probably 300 kids in the state of Florida that signed, FBS scholarships in the class of 2022, right? So now you got the class of 2023, the class of 2024, the class of 2025. I mean, that's over 900 kids right there alone. So, my recommendation is go to camps, go to the right camps, go to camps that that media outlets are going to be. I think when we get to those, to that summer season, some of my favorite camps, and hopefully FIU does them, is they do those satellite camps, which are with other colleges. And yes, it feels like a big cattle call event, but oftentimes that data that gets shared to the media. You post a good time or something like that. That's a good reference point. I think certain camps are good. If you're fortunate enough to get your son into an Under Armour, one of those Under Armour camps, I would absolutely do that. I know Rivals is doing that combine series. They've been doing that. And look, heck, that's a competitor I'd plug right there. I would definitely do that. I know National Preps is good. I would make sure on my film my huddle, I have 3 minutes of huddle. It's rare that I'm going to go 10 minutes in. Make those the best plays, right? Make those the best plays on the jump. On social media, make it where I can search your name on Twitter and it's going to pop up right away. I was at a camp a couple of weekends ago. The kid, I'm trying to go from game to game. Kid couldn't tell me his phone number because he didn't have a phone connected. Kid couldn't tell me what his Twitter was. And then the kid couldn't find his huddle. And it's like, hey, man, I've already moved on, right? So I would be ready to get all those things going. And, I would just be patient with the process, that's kind of my voice as well. I think FBU camps are good as well. That's another one. But be smart, man. Don't travel around the country or anything crazy like that. The state of Florida, I think a lot of people are probably on here or listening to the state of Florida. I mean, there's more colleges recruiting this state than anywhere else, so get the job done on the field. And that's how you definitely get noticed.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I need to get my nephew somewhere, man. So what you do about the kids who like 4-year starters, like at big schools? Like I was a 4-year starter and I think I was a 3-star, something like that. Like it was crazy. Like, and everybody every 5-star I played against, I killed them. So
I think you got to realize, like the rankings have changed a lot,
But honestly though, I went to one camp. I went to a Nike camp at the at Florida Gators. I ran the 40 one time and then I left. So I ain't gonna even lie to you. I was kind of stuck up. So I understand my rankings. I was a little stuck up little kid. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering though, like how do you like cause if I was doing the rankings, right, and I gave a kid like a 4-star, right? And I seen him playing against another kid that was a 3-star. And if that kid had his way, like I would be more like, am I wrong by having him a 3-star or am I wrong by having him a 4-star? Because I refuse to believe that like you just, had that bad of a day. Like I refuse to believe that.
Sure. But what about 5 years later?
So it's not about today, basically. You basically predicting on his future.
Right. So that's it. Yeah. We're trying to project what those guys are going to look like down the line.
But so then how do coaching not go into it then? Like, because if you're predicting my future, so you got to say, oh, well, this kid going to Alabama, he going to have the best, the best workout guy, the best strength coach, the best DB coach, the best head coach. Like, how do you not say, oh, his ceiling going to be a little higher because he going there? And this kid here going to, Penn State, you know what I mean? So, like, how do you not? Because I know I'd be like, yo, it's impossible for both of y'all to have the, you know what I mean? Like, Alabama got the best everything, the best facility, everything. It looked like an NFL team, to be honest with you. Like, I think that they might beat a couple NFL teams if you actually line them up. But what I'm saying is, how do you not, like, put that together? Like, I would be like, Nick Saban gonna have him better. So if I'm going by who gonna get drafted, the college that's looking at you will have a lot to do with it.
Well, I encourage you to look at the list of names of the 350 combine invites that went out today, because there's a lot of schools on there most people haven't heard of. I mean, there's guys from all over that go to the NFL. I mean, the thing, I understand where you're coming from, but I think, like I said earlier, if we start pigeonholing guys, well, hey, he's going to Alabama, he's definitely going to get drafted. I think that's, again, a slippery slope, especially with how much turnover there is with the transfer portal. But what about the turnover in the coaches? I talked to kids in their top 8 schools, and there's been a major coaching change at all 8 schools in the past 2 months. So kind of banking on where a kid's going to be. I mean, that just seems hard to do. And to be honest, our goal in the early signing period has changed. It is to have the rankings done before people are signed, right? Because it shouldn't alter what we think of a kid in that potential. So, I mean, I get what you're saying.
That's dope, man. I can't lie to you. You got a dope job, dog. You got a really dope job, man. How can y'all need to hire me, man? Just call me up and say, hey, look, Orange County, I need you to recruit. I got you. You know what I mean?
I like a Popka. I've probably seen it in a Popka game every year for the past 4 or 5 years, to be honest.
Yeah, we just got a bunch of little guys. We just, like, everybody on our team be like 5'4", You know,
Everyone will know who Apopka is in the next
yeah.
few years with Jalen Carter. So,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure,
that's the little
I'm
homie.
sure they will reference you.
That's the little homie. That's the little homie. I
Yeah,
can't lie to you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, Andrew.
I
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much for your time. We really appreciate you coming on the show and talking about recruiting and kind of how the metrics work behind 24/7 sports. So thank you for your time tonight.
I appreciate it, guys. All right,
All
Take
right,
care.
homie.
all right, bye.
Call me if you need me.
Man, you put the full court press. It was like playing Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium with those questions.
What I asked him though before, is it anything I can't ask? You know what I mean? Because I want to know.
Man, I felt like I was playing Duke or like Kentucky.
Hey man, what you wanted me to do? Like you wanted me to leave it? What you want?
You put the full court press to like all 4 quarters, man.
I want to know. I want to know. But you know what's crazy though? Out of all that, he had great answers for it.
Yeah.
Like for real, like honestly, I understand now why certain kids get ranked so high and certain don't now. I kind of understand now. So now when I talk to my nephew and he like, yo, man, I only got 3 stars, I'm gonna say, hey, bro, you got to go to the accounts, bro. You got to show out.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to make your ceiling look higher. Like it ain't about how good the player is; it's about his ceiling.
I agree, but you said how you mentioned traits. You said there are only 2 corners drafted in last year's draft that were under 5'11". They look at that.
Yeah, my nephew like 6'1" right now.
Oh,
and he's a
what grade
sophomore.
is he in?
He's a sophomore.
He's got a Miami offer yet?
Nope.
Damn. And he's in Popka?
Yeah, he gonna be a 4-year starter. He started as a freshman.
Okay.
He started as a sophomore. He all right. His time gonna come. His problem is he's slow right now. Well, not speed slow, but like he reads slow right now. And honestly, if I was a scout, like right now, like I look at him, but I have to see him grow a little bit before I offer him a scholarship.
Right. All right. Well, let's wrap up the final part of the show. We'll take a quick break, guys, and we'll be right back. Time for some wings, wings, wings. Wings, wings, wings. The best chicken wings outside of the Orlando area off of 452 North Park Avenue, owned by Miami Hurricanes football legend himself, Brandon Meriweather. If you love chicken wings, you're going to love Wings, 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 owned by the man himself, NFL veteran, Brandon Meriweather. Got to check it out. Once again, Wings, Wings, Wings off of 452 North Park Avenue in Apopka, Florida. Have you been to aboutthefans.com? Some of the best quality apparel, stickers, and merchandise out there for University of Miami athletics. Owned by Stickers by AB. Use the discount code SCOOP on all orders and get a discount on every purchase you made and free shipping over any orders of $40. That's aboutthefans.com by Stickers by AB. Go check them out. Some of the best Miami Hurricanes athletics apparel, merchandise, and stickers out there on the market. We are back. Man, I'm telling you, people love their wings, man. They love that commercial.
I appreciate it, man.
Of course, man.
You know, you need to do voiceovers, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's my hidden talent there. But let's talk about it, Brandon. We hired one of the best offensive coordinators. He actually won the top assistant award. We got him from Michigan, Josh Gaddis. What do you think about it, man? I thought it was an outstanding hire. I thought it was a monumental hire as well. The only thing is this, like he ran the football a lot at Michigan, right? It's a Big Ten school. They're going to run a lot. Ohio State's very different from the other programs. They didn't have a good quarterback. That's my thing. It's very hard to go pass heavy when you don't have a good quarterback.
My question is Harbaugh offensive guy or defensive guy?
I believe he's offensive.
Right. So was he the one calling the plays or was he just the figurehead?
That's a good point. And you're not the first person to ask me that question too.
So what I'm saying is, now granted, when it comes to recruiting, I think he's gonna be perfect. I think he's gonna be great when there's recruiting time because he could go talk to people, he could do a lot of things. But my question is, I have to see, was he the one calling the plays? Now, a run heavy, if we could get our offensive line to actually block like Big Ten offensive line block, then I'm cool with running the ball. Run that bit 50 times a game.
Right.
Now, granted, yes, we got young receivers too.
We got a great quarterback.
You're absolutely right.
Best in the nation.
You're absolutely right. So you know what I mean? Don't get him hit. You know what I mean? But yes, you're right. Throw that. Listen, we gonna throw the ball because you got to put the ball in his hands.
Right.
You know what I mean? He the one getting the most NIL money. You got to put the ball in his hands. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But yeah, run the ball, man. We got what? We got a new running back coming in who's supposed to be a dog. We got Roach. We got two. What's number 2 name?
Tyreek Stevenson. Oh no, running back Don Chaney.
Yeah, Chaney. You know what I mean? Like we got a couple guys that could tote the rock, man. You got to give him the ball.
I agree. But do we have a good enough offensive line?
See, that's what I don't know.
Because we have good coaches for the O-line, so I think they're going to be developed. But do we have the
Let me ask you a question. How good is our D-line?
It's a big question mark. Because we like interior wise, I think we'll be all right. Just edge rushers, I don't think it'll be like what we've seen in the past.
Because iron sharpen iron. If we got the best D line in the nation, then we're gonna have the best run blocking O line in the nation. Period.
We don't have the strongest D line in it. I mean,
I was really thinking the ACC. Yeah. I really thinking the ACC. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, man, I was talking to what's the name? Man, I could see us winning the ACC, bro. I honestly can't see one team in the ACC where I say, you know what? If we played them 10 times, they'll be the 9. I don't see nobody in the ACC like that.
No, the only thing I would say is like playing Clemson in Death Valley is always a tough game. And did you play them in the triple overtime game?
Yeah.
So you know the experience.
When Kenny got the interception.
Was that a tough place to play?
Yeah and no. Like the toughest place I ever had to play was Tennessee.
Oh,
like, Tennessee is literally the toughest place I ever played in my life. There and West Virginia. It ain't no places like them two.
Really?
Not one. West Virginia, like you got to be careful. Like they'll hit you in the face with bottles at West Virginia.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Like Tennessee so loud the ground shakes.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
Like literally, somebody could be right here and you won't hear them talking to you. Like we literally had to draw everything down to talk to each other.
It's like 100K in there.
106.
That's crazy.
And it's a circle and they go straight up. So don't nothing leave it. It ain't got no opening so well the sound could leave. It's circle so everything stay right. That is just, boy, listen. Listen to you, bro. I'm telling you, that's one of the worst. So what about this new stadium I keep hearing about, man? What's going on, man? Didn't we just talk about that a couple weeks ago?
Like, it's just talk, though. It's just talk.
Hey, the fact that it's thrown out there. Like, for real, because you got to think, like, once you throw something out there that big.
So, listen.
Like, the county got to see it.
I think people got to vote for it, too.
I think we'll get the votes for that. If people smart.
The location is the best location to consider Tropical Park. I just don't think if it's going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen the next 5 to 10 years. That's my prediction. Remember, you got to build it. You're going to leave Hard Rock. I mean, you still got to vote for it. It's got to get approved. There's a lot of things that get involved.
Right, but all that, if you rub the right fingers and rub the right hands, all that could go happen. You know what I mean? And it seemed like the dude who pushing it is a dude who know who hands to rub. You know what I mean? So I get it. But if they can, like, bruh, that's a skip, jump, and a hop. You know what I mean?
Let's just see what happens, man. I'll be just wait and see.
Man, I hope it happened, man. Because if it happened, boy.
So when's the Hard Rock lease up? That's the thing too. They're not gonna. I mean, when's the Hard Rock lease up, and then when do they renew it?
I think we did a 5-year. We just renewed it. It literally just happened. We just renewed it like a year ago, I think. And we added 5 more years to the whatever it was. So I'm gonna say 7 more years. It'll be up.
Okay.
6, 7 more years. The contract will be up.
I don't think it'll be. I will be surprised if a stadium is built at Tropical Park. I think it would be great. I would just be surprised. That's all.
Yeah, that would be wonderful though, won't it?
I now tell me 15, 20 years. I don't know.
Then you get the little trolleys to take all the students from the campus to that. Boy, you'll be making a killing.
I think it's weird that they used to put students in yellow buses to Hard Rock Stadium. I thought that was weird. I didn't get it. It's unfortunate. We all missed the Orange Bowl, but it is what it is.
I missed the Orange Bowl for real. We need to bring the Orange Bowl back. That's why. Oh, listen, either that or we got to kick the Marlins up out of there. Get them up out of there. They ain't making no money anyway.
I mean, the thing is though. So, did you go to the Miami FIU game?
No.
Okay, so the way it was set up was kind of weird. Like you gotta kind of renovate the stadium itself when they leave because it's not built like a football stadium. It's built like a baseball stadium.
I agree.
So, but I think that why not? But here's the thing too. I think they're gonna be there till like 2030. I think like 2036. Like there's gonna be a while for them if they do leave Miami.
Like why did we give them the stadium anyway?
Because the city of Miami, the mayor of Miami, who is the father of Manny Diaz, gave the final approval to tear down the Orange Bowl.
Oh, that sucks, yo.
And then his son was the University of Miami head coach, and he tried to sabotage the program because he was a Florida State alumni. Did you see Andrew? Did you see Andrew say like Manny was being fake? Basically, did you see that? It wasn't the real him, bro. He's a politician. Politicians, they want people to vote for them, so they act fake. They say things for you to like them, right? I mean, that's the stereotype of a politician, right? To say things for people to vote for you and then do what you want to do. That's a stereotype of a politician. That's Manny Diaz. That new Miami stuff was all BS. That's it. I'm done with Manny. I'm not going to talk about him anymore, but that's it.
He got the D coordinator job at Penn State.
Oh, I hate Penn State. I don't like Penn State. I'm glad that happened so I can root against Penn State even more.
Penn State lose 4 games next year.
7. And Ohio State puts 65. If they play, I don't even know. I don't really follow.
Yeah, they play. They play every year. Them two teams got to play every year. Wisconsin beat them by 30.
Oh, Wisconsin going to put up 50 on the ground. Oh.
Hey, man, I'm not on cloud 9 home, boy. I always look like this. It's just how I look, bro. You know what I'm saying? No, man, but all right, so we got another coach too. We brought in another coach.
Right. We got Georgia's DB coach, which was huge. He's like rated the number 2 recruiter in the nation.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you. So don't be surprised if you get a couple DBs from Georgia transfer.
Yeah.
Like don't be surprised because I like him. I actually have met him a couple times. He seemed like a real sharp dude.
So listen, we probably look. I know we got the best staff in the ACC in the state of Florida, but in the national stage of stats, when this thing finishes and you compare stats, we got to be up there. I mean, we got to really be some of the best. I mean, we're doing a really good job.
If you had to grade our staff 1 to 10, what would you grade them?
It's not even complete yet. We still need a linebackers coach. But right now, I think we're at a 9. I got to say we're at that 8.5 to 9 range.
So do you think Clemson has a better coaching staff than us?
No. They have new coordinators. We have veteran coordinators. We just got the Broyles Award winner, who's the top assistant in the nation. We got Kevin Steele, who's literally, his resume is tremendous. Kevin Smith, we got from Ole Miss. We got Georgia's DB coach, who's the number 2 recruiter in the nation. I mean, we have Coach Mirabal is coaching O-line. I mean, this is incredible. This is an incredible staff. It's very good.
So how long before we talking ACC wins?
I think the expectation should be, honestly, 9 to 10 wins this upcoming season. I think 8-4. It's Mario's first year, but I think we can get 9 to 10 wins. I think that is a fair prediction.
9-4.
It is. I think 3 losses, 9-3, 10-2. I think that's a fair prediction for the personnel we have playing in the ACC. I think we're going to win one against Texas A&M or Clemson. I think we'll split that, and think Virginia Tech, we're going to split one there. So I say 10-2.
I told you, man. I just can't see us losing to either one of them this year. Now, Virginia, they still got the little quarterback in.
Yeah, I like him.
He's a dog. I can't even lie. He's a dog, but I just don't see us losing to them, no.
I can see Miami going in a situation in any game. Thursday night. So here's my theory, right? Usually Thursday night games, the ranked team always goes down, or they start slow, right? I think if we play a Thursday night game, if we do this upcoming season, I don't know who it's against. We play that weekday slot. We're going to start slow, and then we're going to do a late comeback in the second half, and we might fall short. I can see that happening.
If the defense that good, yo, then we ain't got nothing to worry about. We got. Let's
see. I don't know. We gotta let them see them. We gotta see them play. Let them work.
And you know another thing he said Cyrus Moss lost a star because of his size. He came in at 212 at a couple of camps.
He was on a diet. Low carb diet. He's trying. It was summer. Trying to look good. That's all.
Come on, man. He in high school. He should always look good. Like in high school, I didn't know what a diet was, man. I was trying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That is like. I mean, he's 6'7", 212. Like I weigh one. I'm like 185. I'm 6'1".
He's 6'7".
Like he's 212 and 6'7", 6'6". So pretty skinny. That's pretty skinny.
But if he tall and long like that, is he fast?
I mean, he's athletic. He's got long arms. He kind of reminds me of Rousseau, to be honest, like a lot.
Then we can expect the
he's a vegan.
We can expect the go getter. You know what I mean? Because Russo actually mark my rules. Russo in the NFL gonna end up being a dog. He gonna end up being a hell of a player.
No, Russo's gonna be good. He's gonna be very good in the NFL. Phillips too. I like both of them.
Yeah, I like both of them a lot too. I like both of them a lot. That's crazy, man. Yeah, he said I can't believe it. But you know what else shocked me? That he said the college that they go to don't hurt them or help them. I don't believe that.
Alabama. If Alabama gets you and you're a 3-star, they'll give you a 4-star.
Absolutely. Like that's why Alabama don't have no 3 stars, because all of them that's supposed to be 3 stars end up being 4 stars when they get there.
Yeah. But man, Brandon, what a show tonight. I mean, next week we talked about some potential guests, man. We just got to close. And bring them on.
Just all you got to do is let me know who, and I shoot them a text like, yo, let's go. I need you on the show. Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
Talk about it. All right, let's do it. Let's talk about it. We're going to have a great guest on next week, and I know Canes fans will love it. So we appreciate everyone joining with us tonight, and always all about.
All right, y'all. Y'all be good.